In this week's Complaint Corner, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and some other shit. This is Critically Complained. Hi, I'm Adam, and this is Steve, and first we're talking Star Wars, which we say a lot, but that's cool, because news is good. I like Star Wars. So, huge news. We are getting a new Star Wars trilogy that is going to be produced by Rian Johnson, who is the director of The Last Jedi, and he's going to be directing the first of this new trilogy. So he's basically the J.J. Abrams of this new trilogy, and it's going to be focusing on like a non Skywalker storyline. It's going to have new characters exploring a unexplored aspect of the Star Wars universe. And I am so freaking excited. I can barely contain myself. So what do you think, Steve? Are you okay with them making another new trilogy?
I mean, I guess I don't really have anything against more Star Wars movies. Okay, hang on. Let me immediately roll back on that. I don't have any problems with main continuity Star Wars movies. That's important distinction.
Oh, okay.
Cough Road One, cough Han Solo. But I mean, I don't have anything negative, I guess, but I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Too.
The big one, and you share my curiosity on this one, was when exactly it's supposed to be taking place. If we're detaching ourselves from the Skywalker family, it could be pretty much at any point, at any time, in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. There is no limits here. Like, personally, I'm really hoping that they do a trilogy of the Old Republic. Like, I want to see.
If I was gonna set this thing up, and I was like, okay, we have the entire established universe of Star Wars to work with. Where do we want to stick these spin-off movies? Well, during the most popular movie time, of course. Okay, great. Let's just do that then. 4, 5, and 6 time. You know.
Ugh. I don't want. No. I think we're saying opposite things here. You want them to do it during the timeline we already know about.
Yeah.
I want them to go into the very far past. Like, I'm talking the Old Republic.
Gotcha.
I want to see the formation of the Jedi Order.
That's really far away then. That's like
I want to see
super
the
old
down.
times.
I know, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the downfall of the Sith. I want to see the wars between the Sith and the Jedi. I want to see how the Republic, as we know it in the prequels, came to exist. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm interested in. I want something. If they're gonna make a
that
new
sounds
trilogy,
like the bureaucracy talk from the second movie.
No, dude, it's like it's not. No, you're wrong.
Okay.
It's not like that. It's about the formation of this kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, it's about
and
like
the
how do
committee
you
that meets on Wednesdays to vote about the newest sidewalk crossing laws.
See, that's that kind of stuff you're talking about. That's after you've already established a government. This is about the creation of a government. Come on, are you seriously telling me you don't want to know about how the Jedi and the Sith used to wage war with each other?
Okay, waging war is the exact opposite of establishing a government, Adam. If you want to show me a bunch of Jedis and a bunch of Sith guys duking it out in a muddy field, totally. If you want to show me about some dude sitting in a circle talking about how they want to formate a government about nonsense, no, count me out.
The end of the trilogy would the trilogy would end with them defeating the Sith and creating a new government. And it's not like the entire thing wouldn't be about, so how do we go about creating a government? It's not just going to be like Senate discussions.
Okay,
I'm
boring.
talking about yeah, of course not. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them fighting against the Sith and waging a war to try to, bring peace to a galaxy that is in conflict. That's what I want to see. At least I want something like that. I don't know. I don't really want it to be in a time that I already know. I mean, look at like Rogue One. Rogue One, love it or hate it, was jam-packed with nostalgia. It was full to the brim of like, hey, do you remember those characters that Luke fought in the Cantina bar? Hey, do you remember C-3PO and R2-D2? Hey, do you remember ATSTs and ATATs. Do you remember? Like it's full of that shit. Like the whole
Yeah.
Rogue One is just fucking like shoving it down your throats constantly. Like,
Okay.
hey, you remember this? And it's like, yes, I do. Thank you very much. And in my opinion, it got kind of they did it too much.
Okay.
Where they spent so much time referencing things I'd already seen that they didn't spend enough time telling their own story. And if you're going to do something like this, something set in the super far back times, you can't spend a lot of time just doing fan service because there's no what's the word I'm looking for? We have no frame of reference for this time period. They have to tell a completely new story. The only thing that they could do fan service stuff for is like Jedi and lightsabers and Old Republic. Otherwise, what else can you do?
Are we gonna have the shitty lightsabers that have to be plugged into a belt?
Yeah, shit, that'd be fucking cool. I would love to. I want to see that. Does that not sound awesome to you?
No.
That sounds so
You know what that
awesome.
reminds me of? The Men in Black 3 thing where Jay went back in time and Kay had like the shit wind-up neuralizer. That's what that reminds me of. The shit analog version of the cool thing.
I want to see them make a lightsaber. I would love to see that shit. Oh my god. I want to see stuff related to kyber crystals and the relationship between kyber crystals and the Jedi, which is something that's been established in a bunch of the books and stuff. Like there's so much story potential with going into the far past.
All right, okay.
I think it's boring.
I can see we're not going to agree on this. I understand where you're coming from because there are lots of things that I'm interested in the lore and backstory of that I know you don't give a shit about. But for me, speaking as the average moviegoer, I couldn't give less of a shit about the establishment of the Jedi Council or whatever. I just give me more lightsaber fights and more Force lightning. That's all I care about.
That's what this would be all about. It would be about the Force and about Sith and Jedi.
No, you're talking philosophical
awesome
nonsense
idea?
about good and evil and shit. I don't want that. I just want lightsaber fights and deflecting.
Well, you're gonna
lasers.
get that too. Jesus Christ. So your idea for what this spin-off should be, or not spin-off, this new trilogy should be about is just set it during the original trilogy era and just have it be
that's
a bunch
not what
of
I'm saying. It should be. That's just what I'm saying. They're probably going to do.
That's probably true.
Because if I wanted to cash in on the Star Wars nostalgia, because they do, don't fool yourself. That's what they want to do.
I know.
Then I would just set it during the time everyone's familiar with. I'd probably drop a Darth Vader in the background somewhere too, or during like the early days of the Death Star construction or something. You know, should keep drip feeding us all those nostalgia bits from all the other main continuity movies, so we can go, oh shit, that's happening now. You know. But not be about those things.
That just sounds to me like Rogue One again.
Okay, but yes, that's probably what you're going to get, Adam. I'm sorry. If you're not okay with that, then...
I don't agree. The fact that they said that they're going to explore an aspect of the Star Wars universe that we've never seen before means to me that they're going to actually try to break new ground here. Like, do something different, not just constant nostalgia.
Well, for you, Adam, I hope that's the case.
This is how the Death Star was made. Like, plus, we already have a book that's all about the
because people write books, Adam.
So. Yeah, you know what? Yes, they do, Steve.
I didn't. I don't know how the Death Star was made. I imagine a bunch of space cranes.
Honestly, it was made. I mean, well, yes, but you know.
Well, that's all the information I need about it.
You know what? I'm not even gonna school you.
No.
Go
ahead.
You know what? Yes,
I am.
Do
your teachable moment. Go ahead and school me about how the Death Star was made.
The Death Star was created by Geonosians. Do you know what that is?
Of course I don't.
Of course not. They're the weird insect bug aliens from
the first movie,
episode 2.
From Watto or whatever.
Episode 2. Yes, Attack of the Clones, that one. The one with all the creepy looking aliens that like were literally bugs. Those. They made the Death Star. But they couldn't figure out how to get the super laser to work. They did it pretty much everything else, but the super laser was something that they were working on. They were testing different ideas and they didn't have a formal grasp on it. And that's where Galen Erso came in, which is the character that is Jin's father in Rogue One. That's what his whole shtick was. was. He knew all about kyber crystals, and kyber crystals are the things that power Jedi's lightsabers.
I knew
and
that.
He got a really fucking big one, and he put it inside the Death Star, and they like hooked it up to some shit. I don't know all the science. It doesn't
Wait a
matter.
minute. Don't you have to bond to your kyber crystal with your chi or your spirit energy or something in order to make it work?
See, you're supposed to, but they didn't, and that's why it was so destructive. One of the reasons.
That doesn't seem like a very good safety precaution at all.
So the Death Star laser was basically a giant lightsaber. That's what it was.
Okay, but
really
if I wanted
lightsaber.
to make my own Death Star, I don't even have to bond with the crystals. All I have to do is not bond with them and they become more dangerous? What kind of nonsense is that?
No, like... The bonding with the crystals is meant for like smaller crystals. You don't bond with big crystals.
Maybe
it doesn't work like that, Steve.
How do you know
That's
how
not
it works?
how the
like,
Force
George
works.
Lucas? How do you know how it works?
No, I'm not George Lucas, and George Lucas doesn't even know how it works anymore. Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
So Star Wars trilogy, thumbs up from me, and passive-aggressive shrug from you.
Basically, yeah.
All right, then. Next bit of Star Wars news is that we are getting a live-action Star Wars television series
for the love of God.
in Disney's new streaming service. And I am excited but also upset about this, because that means I have to buy Disney's streaming service when it finally comes out.
Okay.
I don't know if you
have
now.
to. I don't know if anybody's making you do it, Adam.
I have to.
I feel like maybe you're putting these limitations on yourself, but okay.
I have read every bit of new canon so far. I have read over 20 books and 20 different comics. I don't think the
Disney Star Wars live action thing is going to be canon, Adam. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it is.
It is?
No, it is going to be canon.
Okay.
Yes. They announced that.
Who's it about?
Everything that they've made, with very few exceptions, is canon. The only exceptions being like the Lego Star Wars stuff.
That's not canon?
Not canon. No,
Lego Star Wars
isn't
canon?
They have a Lego Star Wars television series.
They do?
And it's not canon.
Really?
Yes, they do. Yeah, it exists. It's called the Freemaker Adventures, and it exists.
Oh, from like the Lego movie kind of thing?
No, it's set in the Star Wars universe, but it is not canon. Like, Palpatine is in the series.
Okay.
Darth Vader, I think, makes an appearance once or twice.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Darth Vader is basically the pyramid head of the Star Wars universe now.
Yeah.
You just sprinkle him in whenever you can.
But we don't know anything about the Star Wars the TV show. Now, the TV show, I think, is probably going to be an established timeline. It's not going to... As much as I would love a Old Republic television series, there's like no fucking way that's gonna happen. They don't have the budget to do a bunch of Sith Jedi battles in a TV show. Like, there's no
I bet
way.
you there's only gonna be one Jedi in the group, if at all, anyway. So
yeah, I agree.
Or they're just gonna meet some Jedi sometimes.
I think there's gonna be a lot of blaster wielding people in this.
What was
series.
what was that super janky looking claymation brick people Clone Wars show we had?
Excuse me?
I don't know. What was the Clone Wars Star Wars show? But not the one with Clone Wars, the one with like the...
Oh, you mean like
the ragtag group of jackoffs.
What?
The other one.
Star Wars.
Not the Clone Wars, the other one. The other Star Wars cartoon.
Star Wars Rebels?
That one. It's going to be that, but live action. Calling it right now.
Yeah, I'm guessing something like that. I mean, shit, though. Star Wars Rebels has a ton of Jedi stuff in it. I doubt I think they're going to do even less than Star Wars Rebels does.
Okay, then that, but watered down with more blasters and less lightsaber.
Yeah.
Hitting wombats.
But even so, I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see it. I want to know more information. I want to know more about like the storyline of this show. I can't as excited as I am. I'm not super excited just because I want more information about this. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'll pretend like I do.
Fine. We're gonna move on. So speaking of Disney streaming service, as a kind of a side part of that, we have an unconfirmed report that there will be no more new Marvel Netflix shows because Disney is trying to make their own service.
God damn it, Disney.
So theoretically, any new Marvel shows will be on Disney's streaming service, so that, you know, to try to rake in as much money as possible. And I'm really mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm really upset. the Netflix shows have taken such a long time to build up. It's been like 4 years, and we only just got the Defenders, like, what, in like this past summer. And it's already gonna end. Well, not end. So as a part of this, as a part of the original deal that Netflix made, like Netflix can decide to keep renewing the shows it currently has, and Disney can't stop them from doing that. I mean, Disney could theoretically try to buy them out of the deal, but I don't think that Netflix would take that. So like the shows that we currently have can keep going. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, and Punisher can all go theoretically infinitely, but we won't get anything new other than those 6 shows. Like that's it. And there's so much more potential here. I would love like a Moon Knight show. I would love a Heroes for Hire TV show. I would love a Blade TV show. Like there's so many characters you could make an amazing Netflix show with, and we're not going to get those anymore because Disney is greedy.
Yeah, basically.
I
mean, if I'm being honest, Adam, and to the folks at home, if Disney does wind up doing their own thing here with all these new superhero shows and stuff, I could pretty much promise you I'm not going to see them. I'm not paying for the Disney thing. You know, I'm not paying for 2 services, and I don't have the extra incentive you do with the Star Wars stuff, so I'm just probably not going to see them, and then we can't talk about them because I'm just not going to watch them.
Nah, fair enough. I'll watch him and I'll tell you all about it.
You can make him your humble opinion or something then.
Yeah, I'll make him my humble opinions in the future. In the future! Anyway, so I'm kind of sad about it, but I understand from Disney's perspective why they would want to do that.
Well, yeah,
like,
of course.
It makes sense. But, like, I'm upset from I can't
consumer.
Speak. From a consumer perspective, I like the universe that's already been established. I don't really want a new universe. I don't want them to decanonize the Netflix shows. If anything, I would like them to just take the Netflix shows and put them on the Disney streaming service and just continue them. But I know they won't do that because Netflix won't let them. So it's just like, oh, great. Like, yes. It sucks.
Well, if they did do that, then I absolutely still wouldn't get it, and I just wouldn't know what was happening in those shows either.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what if it was cheap? What if it was like $4 a month?
I
don't know.
So here's the deal, Adam. I'm like really cheap. I'm gonna level with you. Really cheap. Really, really cheap.
Oh my god.
I don't even pay for my own Netflix. I'm bumming off of somebody else, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm not gonna pay them to do that.
Man, compared to me, shit, I have
the only reason I'm using Crunchyroll is because they give you a free version.
I've got Netflix, I've got Amazon, Hulu, and HBO. I've been meaning to cancel HBO, but I still
use
haven't.
all those things with regularity?
Most of them, yeah.
Wow.
The only one that I don't use, actually, yeah, I watch Doctor Who on Amazon. I watch Netflix all the time, and I watched Game of Thrones on HBO, and I watched Inhumans on Hulu, and a few other things too. I'm gonna be talking about Inhumans a little bit later, but.
Wow.
Anyway,
that's a lot more than
I use all of them. I would say that I think I've used all of them, with the exception of HBO. I've used all of them within the past like 2 weeks.
Okay, if it's worth the money to you, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Disney being greedy, Disney is in talks to buy the vast majority of 20th Century Fox, which would of course include the X-Men. And this might seem odd to some people because I know a lot of fans would be like, oh my god, yes, like X-Men joining the MCU. I'm of the opinion that it's not worth it, and that I would much rather Disney not get a entertainment monopoly. I am perfectly content with the X-Men films that I have received. I mean, yeah, some of them have been kind of lame. Like, I didn't think Apocalypse was very good.
No, Apocalypse was not good.
Yeah, Apocalypse wasn't very good at all. But that's okay, because I have other ones. Like Days of Future Past was good. Logan was phenomenal. I'm trying to think of other. Deadpool was really good. Like, I'm content with the way that Fox has been handling the X-Men franchise, and I'm really not interested in the X-Men joining the MCU because I can't think of any way they could join the MCU in a way that would make any sense whatsoever.
Yep.
The only way only way I could even imagine them like having the X-Men join to the MCU is if Doctor Strange or somebody opened a portal into another dimension, which was the established X-Men universe that we already know.
Well, no,
and
they would just
people.
introduce them with a they'd probably do that, and then they'd introduce them with a Avengers versus X-Men movie where they'd all fight it out, and then they'd be like, oh, we're friends at the end, like it's an anime or something.
Yeah, yeah, and I could maybe see that working, but I just feel like it's not worth it. Like
I agree,
I'm
it's not
fine.
worth it.
Like I'm fine with the X-Men being the way they are, and there is no way that you can have the X-Men join the MCU as it is right now without completely breaking all sense of canon. Like, you'd think at this point we would have heard of the X-Men, of mutants. You'd think we would have heard of them at this point in the MCU. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense for them to just magically appear overnight. Like, oh yeah, the mutants, they've always been here. Have we never talked about the mutants before? Like, fuck that. Like, there's no way it would make any sense whatsoever. And Spider-Man made sense, because Spider-Man has always been a really low profile hero, especially early on in his career, which is what they did when they introduced him. So it made perfect sense to introduce Spider-Man into the MCU, but X-Men, I just don't think it would work. And I am not a fan of entertainment monopolies. I like there to be different voices in the world. You know what I mean?
Well, I get you, yeah.
I'm okay with not one single company owning absolutely everything that I watch. Like, thank you, but no thank you. I'd rather not at this. Though there is one exception to this, though. X-Men I'm okay with. Fantastic Four should totally join the MCU. Can 20th Century Fox just sell the Fantastic Four to Disney? Because that's the only one that I think that Disney could actually do something interesting with. Like, X-Men, no. X-Men can stay where they are, but Fantastic Four, every fucking movie has been abysmal, so, like, you can go nowhere but up when it comes to the Fantastic Four. Like, that I'm okay with, but that's it.
I mean, yeah, probably. Honestly. I mean, okay. It's not the same thing, you know, with the X-Men as it is the Fantastic Four. I suppose they could have not been doing important things this entire time, but I kind of feel like if they're going to be in the thing, we would have heard of them by now.
Well, no. All you gotta
Unless
do
you do their origin movie.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You can just do their origin right now. They just don't exist yet, and you can have the Fantastic Four show up, and it makes sense.
I guess.
Just do their origin movie. But with X-Men, like, you have to, like, mutants have always been around. You can't just suddenly decide that there are mutants in the world. You know what I mean?
No, that part makes sense. I guess I'm with you on that one.
But
unless,
with
like,
the
you know,
Fantastic Four, they're just four normal people who then get powers. So, like, you can have them getting what?
How they're going to do it. Scarlet Witch is in the Avengers. This is post-M-Day, where she took away all the mutants' powers. Boom. Nailed it. And then she'll just put them back.
I suppose you could make that work. I just think it'd be weird that we've never established that before.
Yeah,
plus,
and also, the Scarlet Witch in the movies is not shown to have anywhere near the power of comic book Scarlet Witch, so I don't think she could do that anyway.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like the Scarlet Witch in the movies is basically just like a person who has telekinesis and psychic powers.
Basically.
That's it. She can, like, go in, she can mess with your mind, and she can move shit around. She can't completely rewrite reality.
She's Jean Grey, basically.
Yeah, she's basically Jean Grey, yeah. Except she has redness. Like,
that's true, yeah.
Red.
And she bones Vision, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, maybe. We think so.
We assume so.
Yeah, it's kind of implied really heavily.
Which is going to be a shame when he dies when Thanos shows up.
Speaking of I'm just going to do this with every single thing we do. Speaking of superheroes and bad ideas, Sony is making a Morbius the Living Vampire movie. If you don't know who Morbius the Living Vampire is, you clearly did not watch the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, like I did.
And me. I did too.
Yeah, and you. Yeah, good. I know who Morbius is. And, you know, Steve, I'm probably gonna blow your mind right now. I'm perfectly fine with them making a Morbius the Living Vampire movie.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, really?
No, of course. Well, okay.
No, I don't care about Morbius, and his connection to Spider-Man is tangential at best. So you
Okay,
could
see, I was actually
easily
going to
make
say
a
that exact thing. I'm okay with them doing this. The only thing that bothers me about it is that they're still trying to make it related to like a Spider-Man thing. And I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know why they're
exactly.
doing that to themselves because
Like
they just
I
could
hate it
drop
in
that part.
principle. Like I hate it in principle, but like honestly, this is the only one that they've suggested so far that actually makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, and plus Morbius has an interesting backstory. He's a like I was reading about it later. He has like a skin condition that he tries to like fix with like science, and then it turns him into a sort of vampire. He's not a true vampire. He's just like a vampire in all but name.
Yeah, basically.
And that's something you could totally make a movie out of. Like I could see that being a movie. Like even just ignore the comic book aspect of it. Like that
Basically,
makes sense to
just
me. I
take
could
the
see that.
just take Lord of the Flies or whatever, but with Jeff Goldblum or whatever that movie was called.
Oh,
And
The
yeah, The
Fly.
Fly. That not Lord of the
Yeah,
Flies. That's the book. Just take
yeah,
that, but
that's the
replace
book.
the Fly part with vampire part, I
Yeah,
guess, and then you're
exactly.
done.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah, like it's not that hard. And if they made it like a body horror movie, like if it was like R rated and like super fucked up, that could be super awesome. This kind of ties back into, remember our conversation a while ago when we were talking about the Dark Universe? And don't worry, we're gonna be talking about the Dark Universe again in just a little bit. But we were talking about how vampires are scary, and we would both really like it if they made like a really good modern vampire movie. Remember
Yep.
that? Yeah, this is a perfect way they could do that. Like, yeah, make a Morbius the Living Vampire movie. That sounds fine. I okay, sure, why not? Like, I can dig it, but don't connect it to anything. Just have it be a standalone
Yeah,
film.
seriously, just change his name and and have it be something else. Like
Yeah,
you could just like control X or whatever, just find and replace, make all the that into Count Chocula or whatever, and just make him a different vampire. You're good to go.
I
Because
mean,
like you were
yeah,
saying, like he's barely related to Spider-Man for his origins at all. Like you could
yeah.
just like the Venom one is stupid because it has to have Spider-Man in there to make him Venom. But like
Hmm.
this one is basically like this script could apply to anything, and then they just have to like write in the margins. Oh yeah, it's a Spider-Man movie by the by, you know.
Yeah, exactly,
So just
exactly.
don't
That's
do
what I'm
that,
saying. Like,
and you
yeah,
have yourself
don't
a
make it a
movie.
Spider-Man movie. Don't have it connected. Like, I don't want it to be connected to the Venom movie. I
The
don't want it
Venom verse.
to be, yeah, the Venom verse. I don't want it to be connected to the Scarlet Witch, or no, that's not what I meant. The what is it? Black Cat and Silver Sable
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Like, I don't need that. Also, fuck that movie. I know we've talked about it, but fuck
Oh yeah,
that
that
movie.
too. Yeah, definitely.
But this one is the only one that I'm just like, yeah, that sounds fine. I probably won't watch it, if I'm being frank, unless the trailer really wows me. But I'm okay with it existing.
I mean,
Just sound good?
yeah,
you,
basically.
you feel
No,
differently?
I'm pretty much on board with that one, I guess.
All right,
But
great.
not for
So
the reasons that they're trying to sell it as. Not for the reasons
yeah,
they're billing it. But
yeah, we just I think Morbius is an interesting enough character that you could make a movie about him. As a Spider-Man spin-off film, I'm like, no, 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 no. Like don't bother. But as just a standalone film, sure.
yeah, sure.
Like fine. All right. So I can't really make a speaking of for this one, so we're just gonna move on to they're making a Lord of the Rings prequel series over at Amazon. They've officially signed a multi-season contract for a Lord of the Rings prequel series, and why? That's really all I could say.
Okay, all right. No, hang on.
Why?
First of all, Amazon. Who the hell do you think you are?
Well, okay, like I like the Amazon shows. I've been meaning to watch more of them, but
Yeah, but
something
Amazon
I've
doesn't get a
noticed.
big win like Lord of the Rings. Not that this is going to be a win. It's probably going to be stupid. Okay, well, more on
Yeah,
that in a minute. But they don't get to pull big names like this for Amazon. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Netflix and Hulu should have had first dibs on this one for sure.
Fuck Hulu. I think HBO should have gotten this
Okay,
one. Are
fine.
you kidding me?
I was thinking
Make
of
it
the
the new
streaming
Game of
guys. I was
Thrones.
thinking
You're
of the streaming
done.
guys. Then yeah,
Okay,
I would
okay.
say probably HBO would have had it too. But whatever. Anybody before Amazon should have had this thing.
Yeah, and like I like Amazon, don't get me wrong, but Amazon's shows are pretty cheap. Like have you seen The Tick? Like The Tick
No.
it's funny and goofy, but it's also pretty low budget. Like it's like his costume looks ridiculous.
Well,
That's
I
the
mean,
point.
yeah,
But
but
his costume looks ridiculous. I don't like this is Lord of the Rings. Like it's super expensive. You have to pay for CGI, you have to pay for makeup, you have to pay for going to like big sexy locations like New Zealand. You have to pay for like armor and shit. The costumings won't be cheap. Like I can't understand how you can make a series like this
plus you got to forge
spending...
your ring in the fires of Mount Doom. That can't be cheap.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine how you can make a series like this without a shit ton of money. And Amazon does not have a shit ton of money. At least it hasn't been established to have a shit ton of money based on everything they've made.
They're not giving those people that much money. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Let's call it like it is. They got plenty of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
I just don't see how this could work.
What confuses me
ahead.
about this, well, okay, a lot of things confuse me about this, but one of the things that I'm kind of wondering about is why we need one. Because basically we've got Lord of the Rings prequel show. It's called Game of Thrones. And I know people are probably like, oh, God, how dare you compare the two, blah, blah, blah. X is better than Y.
They're so similar.
Yeah, but
they're
they're the same thing, all right? Chill your tits, all right? They're all just fantasy D&D worlds, okay? I'm sorry. They basically are when you boil it down.
As someone who has read not the Lord of the Rings, I've read all of the Game of Thrones books, and I've seen I've read the Game of Thrones books, and I've read some of the Lord of the Rings books, and yeah, they're very similar. Like, yes, of course, there are differences. Like, it's not like they're the exact same universe, but they're very similar in a lot of ways.
But what I'm wondering about this is, if we're doing one of these fantasy verse things, you know, with the swords and the dwarves and elves and whatnot, like, with the exception of the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, like, there's nothing different about these worlds, really. And if this is a prequel thing, which means it's happening, I assume, before Sauron shows up and does his evilness all over the place. So I'm kind of wondering what, like, the day-to-day episode's going to be about. Like, is it just going to be,
That's a good question. Like, what is the show going to be about? Like, I don't think it's going to, like, it's not going to be retelling The Hobbit.
No, we did that already.
Presumably set after The Hobbit. But
it's probably going to take place the same time the game takes place. Whatever the fuck, whatever.
Oh, the
Shadow of Mordor or whatever. It's probably going to be around that time. But
okay, but the thing about Shadow of Mordor is Shadow of Mordor isn't really you don't play Shadow of Mordor to see an interesting story.
I know, but
you play it
the
so you can
like
murder orcs and shit. No, but what I'm saying about this is Shadow of Mordor can get away with it because the story doesn't really matter that much. It's most that those games are basically just a playground in the Lord of the Rings universe.
Right? Yeah.
The story is nothing. But this is a TV show where story is everything, and I don't understand how this can work. How can you tell a satisfying story without infringing on Lord of the Rings, stuff? You know what I mean? Like, how do you do it? I don't know.
Okay, all right. Pitching ideas. I'll do what they did at the table and just spit out the first thing that comes to mind. You tell the story of that ranger guy from Lord of the Rings, except he's younger now and he's got like a
Strider.
Sure.
Or Aragorn.
Aragorn. Yeah, we'll talk about young Aragorn before he went off to go fuck that elf or whatever. And then he's younger, but he's like a squire or something to a new character we've never met before. Maybe that guy dies or something, and maybe he meets his dwarf friend for the first time or something, or something.
I like the something or something.
Well, because I'm trying to think of a thing that happens in the story that I can think of the prequel of, but the only thing that happens in Lord of the Rings is Sauron is evil. So there's nothing exists before time. That's it.
You could maybe make a story about Gondor trying to defend their land from the orcs.
There you go. Sure. They could do one of those, I guess.
That's basically.
But that's
basically
the
story.
Freaking what the fuck?
Shadow of Mordor.
Well, yeah, basically. I was just gonna say it's Game of Thrones. Then it's just people having wars with other humans at that point. But yeah, basically.
Yeah, you could maybe make it more politically oriented and do something with the relation between Rohan and Gondor. I think that sounds terrible, but you could maybe do it.
There's a lot of things in the movies that just kind of get glossed over as this happened at this time, or whatever. like the village that I forgot the name of, where all the dwarves were all vaporized in the mountain because
Oh,
Smaug was
Moria,
there.
Moria.
You know, that kind of shit you could all talk about before it happened, I guess. But the interesting thing is the dragon. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really much care to see a village of dwarves in a mountain. You know,
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see where the plot is here. Like, what
Yeah.
story you can tell with what you're giving yourself as a world.
I'm with you. So, speaking of terrible things with weird stories that we probably shouldn't be telling,
Oof. Crystal clear segue.
shut up. Chris Morgan and Alex Kurtzman, uh, both are they're producers, and they both left the Dark Universe at Universal, and Universal is apparently now rethinking their approach to their Dark
Good, it was
Universe,
stupid.
and they're considering to make the films more standalone instead of trying to build a shared universe. Alex Kurtzman, by the way, is the guy who directed the Mummy reboot, which was awful.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but the previews made it look stupid, so.
The previews made it look stupid. I have not seen it, but I watched a really in-depth review of it, and it's awful. So, I have no interest in the Dark Universe pretty much whatsoever.
Also, in this, okay,
And-
this just might just be a me thing, but nowadays when I see Tom Cruise is in something, it makes me not want to see it, and I don't know why that is. I don't have anything
Yeah.
against Tom Cruise. I think he's fine. It's just everything that he seems to be in, I just don't want to see. So when I see him in something, I just decide I don't want to see it. It's like a weird circle. Am I the only one feeling that?
No, I'm with you. I generally don't really like Tom Cruise. I never have. I've always thought that he's always come across as just a giant tool. Um, like, sorry, Tom Cruise, if you're listening by some miracle. But yeah, I've never been a huge Tom Cruise fan, and I especially don't like these big budget action movies that has no real story. They're all taking a page out of the Marvel handbook.
I've also never seen an Ocean's movie.
I'm also oh wait
Or Mission
really?
Impossible.
Like
I mean, Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, the Ocean's movies are actually pretty
I've
good.
never seen any of those.
Yeah, I have never seen a Mission Impossible movie.
I just
Also,
know that he
I've
made
never seen
another one fairly recently, well after the last one had ended, and that we were all supposed to feel
Yep.
sad about that because he's coming back to do one, and that's sad.
I don't care. I don't care. Oh, I thought you were saying that we should be sad he hasn't done one in a while.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no.
It's sad that he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I don't really like Tom. The one movie I liked Tom Cruise in was I can't think of the name. Edge of Tomorrow. That was pretty good, and I thought he did a good job in that movie. But that's it. Like there's nothing else I've ever seen him in that I was just like, yes, like I like him. He did such a good job. I thought he was passable in what is it called? What's the apocalypse movie with the aliens? I'm trying to remember the name of it.
I don't know.
Not. I don't remember. The Day After
I
Tomorrow?
didn't see
No,
it.
that was a different one. Doesn't matter. War of the Worlds? War of the. I think that's it.
Was
I think
he
it's
in
War of
a
the
remake
Worlds.
of that?
Yeah, he was in a remake, and I thought he was passable,
Yeah, okay.
but like I didn't care about him at all.
Well,
Anyway,
That's enough tearing apart
I don't-
Tom Cruise, I think.
Yeah, that's enough tearing apart Tom Cruise. Let's tear apart the Dark Universe.
Okay.
So we've talked about this at length before, so I'm not going to spend all my time talking about how stupid this universe is and how they should actually focus on making horror movies because we've talked about it before. So I'm just, if you're curious about our opinions on it, go check out our previous episodes. I am totally cool with them rethinking their approach. And see you later, Chris Morgan and Alex Kurtzman. I won't be missing you. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Sorry,
Jesus.
not sorry. I'm sorry. Like, look, they made some like a really shitty movie, and they're taking a really shitty approach to beloved films, reboots of beloved films. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna just be like, oh, that's too bad. Like, no, screw them. Like I have no interest in their crap. Oh, and like one of them, I read this earlier. I don't remember the details anymore. One of them is going to write the screenplay for the Fast and Furious spin-off, and the other one's focus. Yes, they're making a spin-off starring Dwayne Johnson and that one guy with the shaved head. The hell's his name?
Jason
Jason
Statham.
Statham. Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson are getting their own Fast and Furious spin-off. We never talked about it because I don't give a shit.
Basically.
Like, and the only thing that we would say about it is, do you care about this? No, I don't care about this either. Well, we're moving on now, so we never talked about it. But yeah, they're doing that. And the other one's focusing on TV. Like, I think he's doing something for CBS. I don't know or care. And I'm not saying I hate them as people. Like, I hope that they're successful and they make actually good things in the future, but I have no problem with them leaving the Dark Universe because their work on the Dark Universe was bad and they should feel bad.
Fair enough.
All right. So we're finally going to move on to other stuff that I care about that is not related to movies. We'll go back into movie news later, but I've wanted to talk about this for a while. So we just got our first look at the 13th Doctor.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you care, but oops, spoiler.
I think people know that by now, but yes.
I don't know. Some people don't.
Yes, the Doctor is a
people try to avoid.
female.
Okay, so we got our first look at her costume, and it looks really goofy.
Future Steve, throw a picture of that up on the thing there if you remember, so people can see it.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys are seeing it right now, unless Steve is lazy.
Yeah, or he just misplaced the time slot this was supposed to happen in, and he just didn't do it. Okay, I got a mental note of where it's supposed to be now.
All right, cool, good. And it looks goofy. She's wearing like these suspenders.
It's like Steve Urkel or something. It's ridiculous. I actually have a picture of it like right here. I'm just gonna open it back up again so I can look at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the exact same thing so I can just look at it and have it all fresh. Yep, there it is.
It's the weirdest thing, you know?
It's just odd looking. Like, I'm sorry, but it just looks weird. Like, so she's got these blue pants and these big yellow suspenders and like a rainbow t-shirt on and like this big coat that kind of reminds me of what is it? David Tennant's Doctor. And she's got like these super high pants and these big ass boots with blue socks. And she just looks silly. And don't get me wrong, this is Doctor Who. Have you seen the Sixth Doctor? Like, his costume is ridiculous. I'm not super upset about the Doctor having a ridiculous costume, necessarily.
All right, okay. Maybe it's just because we've all gotten used to it now, but, like, the Sixth Doctor's costume was weird, but it was still, like, I don't know what the word, cohesive, I guess is the word. It looked like it belonged together, if nothing else. But, the rest, but, like, her costume here is like just shit from everywhere.
Like, it looks, to me, it looks like the kind of costume that someone would just throw on. Like they're just grabbing random shit from a closet, and it's just like you put on your blue pants with the suspenders. You just got a new t-shirt, so you want to wear your new t-shirt. You're cold, so you grab your jacket. Like, it doesn't look like any planning went into it. It just looks like a bunch of random different pieces of clothing that you just throw on because you're cold one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like, it doesn't feel like an outfit. It just feels like a regular person's clothes when they don't care about whether or not they're matching. If that makes sense.
But I would go one step further and say that it's almost deliberately mismatched. And I know that's probably what it's supposed to look like, but I don't think it's the way they intended it. It's probably supposed to give her like a whimsical thing, but to me, honestly, it just gives me the impression that like you went out of your way to go to like the Salvation Army or something and just find shit that doesn't belong together. Like, she's got like, what the hell are these, some kind of like boots on and like belly button high shorts with the suspenders and like the and like any article of this could have been part of a costume, but not together.
I agree. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't hate it so much that I'm just like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it's not
it's just
that
very
bad.
Odd decision.
It's just weird looking, and I don't really understand their thought process going into it. And like, I can't help but compare it to the subtle awesomeness that is Capaldi's outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love Capaldi's outfit. It's so basic, but so charming at the same time. It's pretty much all black with just this flash of red on the inside of his coat, and I just love it. I love everything about his outfit. I've actually considered cosplaying as it before because I love it so much, and compared to that, this just looks kind of lame. Like, I'm just like, okay, I guess. Like, Like, I think that it might be a little bit better once I actually see it in action, you know?
Maybe when you can get
Like
used to it,
maybe,
I guess.
yeah, maybe once you get used to it and you see it in motion, it'll be a little bit better. I mean, if we're being really picky, I mean, 11's outfit is really, really boring. Like, it's
Yeah, it
literally
is,
just
but I mean,
like
he
a dude
himself
with
is
a
kind
bow
of the
tie
boring
and a
doctor,
jacket.
so it's fine.
11? You think 11 is a boring doctor? I don't agree. He's the most energetic
Oh, yeah.
doctor.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of 9. Yeah, I know you're. Yeah,
Oh,
Matt Smith, right?
yeah, Smith.
Yes,
Yeah.
his like little bow
Like,
tie and tweed jacket.
all it is, yeah, it's just like a bow tie and a tweed jacket. Like, it's pretty basic and boring. It's well composed. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
That's why. It's well composed, but it's not anything interesting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it's pretty lame. And at least hers, like, I remember hers, so I can give it that. It is
yeah. But you don't
memorable.
remember it for the right reasons.
That's probably true, but I don't know. I'm trying to give them some credit here and there. Oh, and there is one thing that I actually really do like about it. I really do like that it's not sexual. I was a little bit worried when they cast a female doctor, like the first female doctor, that they're going to make her an overly sexual character, which in my opinion is not the way the doctor should be.
No, none of them
So
have been like that.
I'm glad that it's a very like non-gendered outfit. Like I could totally see a dude wearing this and it wouldn't like bother me. Like I think it would look just as silly on a guy as it does on
Yep.
her. How's that?
I mean, that guy would probably be shunned from all social circles, but yeah, basically, I could
Like
see it.
I'm just like I want to give them some credit for that. I am happy that it's not like like a super deep V-neck that shows a bunch of cleavage. Like I didn't need that, or like super tight yoga pants. Like I didn't like this is the doctor. The doctor should not be like this overly sexual person. Like the doctor can be attractive and nice looking, but he or she should not be like super sexual. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
Anyway. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan. That being said, I'm still excited for the new season, and I can't wait to see what she brings to the role. But this costume kind of disappoints me a bit. You have anything else to say on it?
No, it's just weird. But I
It's
mean,
just weird.
I,
Now,
whatever. It's weird. I don't know. It's just weird.
all right. It's just weird. Got it. So we're gonna move on to this news, and I thought about talking about it earlier, but it's kind of late, and since we haven't had a show in like an extra week, sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that.
Yeah. But so it's kind of late, which is why I have it near the bottom. But we now know the actors who are playing both Shazam and Billy Batson in the Shazam movie. There is Zachary Levi, who is playing Shazam, and Asher Angel, who is playing Billy Batson. Now, I have not seen Asher Angel in anything ever. I mean, he's a pretty young guy. He looks like he's like 12. But he looks the part. I have like no complaints about his
Yeah, no,
casting
he's fine.
choice.
He's fine.
He's fine. The other one, on the other hand,
This this guy,
ooh,
this dingus.
okay. So I don't like Zachary Levi. I hope that's how I'm pronouncing it correctly. I do not like him as Shazam.
No.
Like at all. I think that he does not have the right physique for
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Which is
Nope.
something that can be fixed. Like if you do
A
a lot of
bit.
working
It
out,
can be fixed
you
a
can.
bit.
Yeah.
Some people are just small by nature, and no amount of, steroids and whatever
Yeah.
will fill you out enough to make it, convincing.
Yeah. But like the muscles stuff I can forgive, but I don't like his face. I don't think his face looks like Shazam. Like Shazam should look like like a fucking Olympic god, or not Olympic, a Greek god, because that's literally where he gets his powers from.
Yep.
Like he should look like a brick shithouse.
Yeah.
Like you should pick someone like actually Henry Cavill, the guy they got to play Superman, is not a bad choice in that regard because he has a very chiseled jawline.
Oh yeah, he's got the Superman and Truth, Justice, and the American jawline thing
Yeah.
down pat.
Yeah, like I think he's a very good choice to play Superman. This guy, he looks too much like that dude who's your pal. He looks like your buddy. That guy that you hang out with in the bar or you play video games with. Like that's what he looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have nothing against him as a person, but I don't think that like, you know, my pal should play Shazam. Like the person playing Shazam should be like that douchebag that I hated in high school. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like the huge like stacked motherfucker who like, you know, had like 3 women like just constantly being thrown at him all the time. Like I this guy is not the right choice for Shazam. I'm sorry. Like,
Okay,
no,
well,
I
all we
don't
have to
like
do
this.
is just compare him to the guy playing Black Adam in the same movie.
Yes,
The
yes,
goddamn motherfucking
actually,
Dwayne the Johnson Rock.
yeah, Dwayne
Whatever
the
the fuck
Rock
his name was.
Johnson, Dwayne the Rock
Thank you.
Johnson, who looks perfect to play Black Adam.
Honestly,
Like
yeah.
absolutely, he looks phenomenal as Black Adam. And then you're gonna have him going up against Mr. Dope over here as Shazam. No, and I would love to see like the first look at him in the costume and be proven completely wrong, but I doubt that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I really don't
doubt
think
it,
so.
too.
Like I
Well,
think
another
that
reason,
I'm
okay, I don't know how many people are actually familiar with Shazam or Captain Marvel or however you call him, but it's basically the 12-year-old kid that turns into the adult superhero, and the adult superhero kind of juxtaposes him being an adult with huge pulsating Olympian muscles, whereas the kid is scrawny, weak, and poor. You know, but like if you're just turning from a kid to an adult, that's basically just the movie Big, and I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
I want there to
No,
be
I
a
agree.
huge difference. When he turns into Shazam, I want him to gain like 7 times his body mass.
I agree with you completely. Like there should be a huge difference. Like he should look like he suddenly got blasted with like a hunk ray.
Hunk ray.
Like that's what he should look like. He should look like the kind of guy who like would make my mom be like, "Oh shit."
That is
like,
a weird way to put that. But
I don't know. Like my mom, you know, like she sometimes she'll be watching movies and she'll just be like, "Wow, damn, like look at that guy."
Okay.
Like she loves like I don't know, like Ryan Braun, the one football or not football, Jesus Christ, baseball player.
Okay.
Like she loves him, and every time he shows up when my dad's watching baseball, my mom will just be like, "Oh, hey, there's my husband." Like
Okay.
cuz she I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I get where
this
you're coming
is not
from.
important.
It's just a weird choice of
like
personal reference.
Shazam should look like the kind of person that turns heads.
All right, here's what. Okay,
That's what he should
all right.
look like.
Post singing training montage with Philatides, Hercules, not pre.
Yes.
That one.
Yes. Great. That works. Yes. Okay. So I have nothing else to say about this. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, sort that shit out, Hollywood.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. WB, how could you? Okay, so we're going to move on to our only bit of video game news. And our last bit of news. And I'm excited about that because we've been talking for a freaking long time. Actually, it's not been that long.
It's been like an hour,
surprisingly.
Adam. It's like a regular show.
Shut up! There was a lot of stuff we talked about. We've just been moving quickly. Anyway, so Sucker Punch is making a new game called Ghost of Tsushima, where we play as one of the last samurai in feudal Japan, and we defend our home from invaders in an open world. And when I say open world, I mean a really open world. Like, according to a certain trailer that Steve and I watched, they don't have like waypoints. Like they just kind of want you to explore.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but it
okay.
kind of sounds like they just kind of dump you in a GTA map, except instead of giving you like waypoints for missions or whatever, they just expect you to wander around and stumble across fun,
do stuff,
which doesn't sound fun like inherently. If I have to find the fun,
this kind of ties into something that I know a lot of gamers like, but I don't. I don't like a huge open world where there's nothing to do in it.
But that's not the case.
I don't
Apparently,
care.
there's all sorts of shit to do. You just have to find it.
Like I don't know. Like I think of like stuff of like Just Cause 2, which is a great game. Like I like that game. But the map is so obscenely huge, and there's very little to do in that map that I kind of hate it. I kind of hate, like, that map should have been like a third of the size that it was. Because,
No,
like, there's
I
no...
get where you're coming from, but I think a more apt comparison to this thing would actually be the original Legend of Zelda, where they don't tell
Yeah,
you
that's a
where to
good example
go or
too.
what to do or what the hell's going on. They just kind of drop you in and say it's dangerous to go alone. Here's a katana, and that's about the size of it. You know?
Or hell, I mean, even other Zelda games, like not Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild does a really good job at making it so there's always stuff to do, and the world is truly so beautiful. But whatever.
Right. Okay,
But I think
I
another
never played it, but I'm pretty sure in the Breath of the Wild, there's places to go and things to do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yes.
does it
Yeah,
tell you where those places are?
kind of it tells you where to go to look for places to do, if that
Okay,
makes sense.
because
And they give you this cool mechanic where you can like zoom in and you can set markers for wherever you want to go. So like you see a city in the distance and you can set a marker on it, and then you have that on your mini map and you can go in that direction.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like, anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not important. But I was gonna say, like, I'm thinking of like Ocarina of Time, actually. Like, we're in Hyrule Field, it's just this really big field with nothing in it. You just
Basically,
kind of walk
yeah.
across for a while. Like, I don't like Hyrule Fields. And people will be like, oh, it's atmospheric. And I'm just like, well, you can say that, and that's fine for you, I guess. But I think it's just boring. Like, when I play a game, I like to actually do things, not just walk in a direction for a long time.
Yeah, okay, actually, you know what? Expanding on that, a lot of people would probably say that kind of thing, but a lot of those people are probably the same people who use fast travel. And I gotta
Mm-hmm.
tell you, as soon as the option to fast travel's open, I sure as hell am not walking anywhere. I'm not going
Yeah,
through any of that
exactly.
scenery again. I don't care how immaculate that shit was. You can give me all the eye-gasms you want, but I'm just popping back from place to place when I have the option.
I think maybe it might be the fact that I'm just not super inclined to like to absorb art like that. Like, I don't really care. Like, you can be like, "Oh my god, look at this spectacular world." Like, "Oh, look at this beautiful thing." And I'm just like, "Yeah, cool, sure, whatever. What do I do right now?
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how do I what's the next objective? Like, what should I
Basically,
do?
yeah.
Is there a side mission I can do?" Like, that's just how I play games. I'm objective, action oriented. I don't really spend a lot of time exploring the world and looking
Yeah,
at
not
things. That's
really.
really
Not
like,
really.
there are a few exceptions to that, but generally speaking, that's just not how I play
Yeah.
games.
Well, okay, I think Skyrim kind of does it the right way. We're like, okay, you go
Yeah.
into a city, right? And you just some random jackoffs will start talking to you, and they start giving you side quests, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to go anywhere. All those people are like together, and then you can just go to explore the world as you're doing that side quest they gave you. I'm never gonna. I've played Skyrim for quite a few hours, and I can tell you not a single time I just picked a direction and started walking because I
Me
knew
too.
immediately when
Yep.
I set
Oh,
out
you
there's
always have
nothing out there
something
for
to
me to
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
care what
I'm with you.
amazing boogie monsters are out there. It's like but I don't have a reason to be there. I'd make a terrible adventurer if I'm being honest, because
Yeah,
the
I'm
call
with
to
you.
adventure is not a thing that I have. It's a call
I,
to achieve a checklist.
Yeah, that's thank you. I'm exactly the same way as that. Like, I'm just not the kind of person to explore every inch of a map or anything like that. Like, I need to have something like a goal.
Yeah,
I need
I have to have
something
a
to do.
tangible reason to be or do anything.
I am completely in agreement with you.
Which brings us
Anyway,
back to
so about Ghost of Tsushima, uh, I am not super excited about it like other people are. It looks pretty,
yeah.
and I actually do like samurai, and I don't mind playing as a samurai. That sounds like fun in theory.
See, okay,
But
actually, I'm wondering how they're gonna. Okay, you're a samurai. Obviously, you're gonna fight things. But the trailer
yeah,
we had was all just cinematics. It wasn't really
yeah, it was just,
gameplay at
ooh, look
all.
at the atmosphere. Ooh, there are
Yeah.
bamboo
So like,
trees.
I'm kind of wondering, is this like, are we gonna be like Ninja Gaiden flailing about kind of combos things, or is it gonna be like a more of a slow, methodical sort of, almost realistic sort of fighting
I
style?
think it's going to be a much more realistic one. That's actually kind of the thing about samurai, like like when it comes to fighting styles, is it's actually very slow. Like, it's all about
No,
stance
I know,
and
but that
about
does not make a
preparing.
very exciting game unless the entire game is geared around like, riposting and stuff like For Honor, you know? for however long that was
I was
popular.
thinking something like For Honor, maybe a little bit of Dark Souls with less difficulty.
And
Like
less
I
action
think,
rolls, because I can guarantee you there weren't a lot of action
yeah,
rolling samurais.
yeah, like I think it could work, but I don't know if it's something that I'm super
Yeah,
into. Like
I don't know either.
I don't know. But the only thing that saves this game for me, and the only reason I really wanted to talk about it, is that it's from Sucker Punch, and I've loved pretty much every game
yeah,
Sucker
Sucker
Punch has
Punch really
made.
does no wrong.
Yeah, like I have yet to play a Sucker Punch game and be like, wow, that was awful. The closest example to that I have is Infamous Second Son, but even that wasn't bad. I just thought that the other two, like the first two Infamous games, were
Yeah,
way
yeah, I guess
better.
you're right. Oh, I think the reason Second Son was as weak as it was because it was a launch title and it was trying very desperately to work in those PS3 gimmicks, but or PS4,
Yeah, yeah,
like the stupid
makes
touchpad
you.
and the
Yeah, it makes
shaking
you play
thing.
with a stupid touch clitoris in the middle of this. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that was
thank you.
stupid.
Sorry,
But
that's something that what is that one
Yahtzee
guy?
says, yeah.
Zero punctuate. Yeah, Yahtzee says that, which I always think is funny. So I started calling it that.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, I thought that Second Son was good for the most part, but I also thought that the story was rushed, and I thought that it was too slow, and I thought that there was too many powers.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
powers were, they were all good powers, with the exception of the concrete powers, which I thought were really fucking
Well, and
lame.
you got him at the end when there was nothing to,
Yeah,
and no reason to play the game anymore.
yeah, exactly. Like I think it's funny that they were kind of like touting you along on this idea of like, like at the very beginning of the game, it's like, ooh, she has concrete powers, and like the whole plot of the game is you trying to get her concrete powers,
Yeah,
and then when you finally get them, like they're shitty.
yeah.
Like I don't care about
Actually,
them.
if I remember
They're
correctly, her
fucking
boss fight
boring.
was super easy too, so it wasn't even that satisfying. But
Yeah,
anyway,
her boss fight wasn't hard at all.
I agree that Sucker Punch really doesn't do bad games. I mean, at least objectively awful games. You might
Yeah,
have stronger
absolutely.
opinions about one or the other, but I want to believe in them, I guess. And samurais are cool, or at least pop culture samurais are cool. Actual samurais were not that interesting, honestly. But I don't know. I'd be down, I guess, if they can show me that it looks good. But so far, all we've shown me is some sort of atmospheric trailer that might as well be a movie preview, because it was basically just story bits about this guy you play as and honor and stuff.
Yep.
If
Okay,
you could,
so that's
be a
it.
cool mechanic,
Oh,
killing yourself.
oh,
That'd be cool.
killing
Yeah,
yourself?
if you do something bad in the game, you have to seppuku yourself. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that would work, but okay. So that's it for our news. So you don't have a humble
I
opinion,
do
or do
not
you?
know.
You do not. All right, well that's great because I actually have two,
Oh,
and they're both relatively small, so I can keep them shorter.
okay.
So first of all, I have now finished officially Marvel's The Inhumans,
Oh,
which
good.
was on ABC. I watched it on Hulu, and I can officially say that it is absolute dog shit.
Oh, good.
Oh my god, it's so fucking bad. The one thing I can give it is I actually thought that the final episode was surprisingly decent, and it did leave a better taste in my mouth than the rest of it.
Well, the ending is
The
the most important part, I guess.
Yeah, the ending is the most important part, and I think that the ending is the only thing that they didn't completely fuck up. That being said, I think the show is awful. I think it was poorly conceived in almost every manner, and it's an insult to the characters if you know them. So I'm just going to kind of break this down relatively quickly. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. So Black Bolt
Super
is an
awesome.
interest. Okay, what's interesting about it is I like the actor who plays Black Bolt, but his role in the story is basically one of passivity. Like he doesn't do anything for the majority of the show. Like he almost never makes any decisions. Obviously, he doesn't speak because if he started speaking, he'd start destroying everything. So it's really hard to form an emotional connection to him because he's just this guy who just kind of goes with the flow and just like things happen around him and he just kind of stands there not speaking and doesn't really do anything about them. Like he has a few fight scenes, and finally I was gonna give this fucking show like a 1. I was gonna give the show a 1 out of 10 if they didn't do one thing, and that is I wanted to see Black Bolt use his powers on purpose. And he did in the very last episode once. One time he actually used his powers on purpose. He only used his powers 3 times in the entire show.
Wow.
One time he used it in a flashback when he accidentally killed his parents.
Doesn't really
One
count.
time, yeah, it doesn't. I didn't really, wasn't really sure if I should count it or not, but he uses his powers there, and he uses his powers another time in the first episode when he shows up on Earth, and then like he gets beaten up by cops. And there's this one point where he like the cops are beating up on him, or he gets like a taser shot, and then he grunts and flips a cop car with his grunt. And there's those two times, and in the finale where, spoilers if you give a shit, he traps Maximus, his brother, in this bunker thing. And then he puts him in the bunker, and then he traps him by saying goodbye, brother, right outside the entrance, which collapses the entrance.
Oh,
And,
how dramatic.
and that's, yeah, he says goodbye, brother. And admittedly, I thought that was a well done scene. One of the only things I can give this show is that scene, the final episode where he has this actually surprisingly emotional moment with his brother, where his brother is talking about how, like, wow, I really fucked up. Like, there's this whole thing where Maximus, he sabotaged the dome of Adelan, and like, so this is on the moon. He sabotaged the dome of Adelan as like a security measure. So he's just like, Black Bolt and all the other royal family members have to submit to me, or I will allow the dome to collapse. And the dome was slowly collapsing, but Maximus kept insisting that he could fix it, which was not true. He could not fix it. And by the time he finally got around to undoing what he did, the damage was done, and the dome was going to collapse. And there was actually this surprisingly good moment where he was just like I thought I could fix it, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted you guys to respect me, and I just wanted powers. Like, when he went through Terrigenesis, he didn't get any inhuman powers, which is not true of anybody else. And so, like, his whole plot, the only thing he was trying to do the entire time is he was trying to change his DNA so that he could go through Terrigenesis again and actually get powers, because he was so upset about. Well, it actually does make sense in context. I mean, this is a society where literally everybody has powers except for him. And everyone always treated him like they were lesser simply because he didn't have powers. And if he wasn't a member of the royal family, he would have been thrown into the mines to work for the rest of his life, like digging shit. But because he was royal family, he was given special privileges to basically do nothing. Now, so I liked the scene with him and Black Bolt, and I liked the Black Bolt's goodbye to him, where he said goodbye, brother, and then collapsed the thing, and that was the end. So that was well done, but that's literally the only thing I can say was well done. Medusa, who has powers where her hair she can use to like she can move her hair basically. She gets her hair cut off in the very first episode, and she never grows it back. So she literally uses her hair twice, and then it's gone for the rest of the series. Karnak, who is this Asian dude who has the ability to like foresee the future, but in a really weird way, like something he learns kind of, is that his power only works in the sense that he can only see the worst possible outcome. Like, he can't actually see what's going to happen. He only sees the worst way things could go, which is kind of interesting. And so that, yeah, it is. And so that's how he can avoid the worst thing happening by not doing that, which is kind of interesting. But he shows up on Earth in like the second episode and hits his head, and then he can no longer use his powers, kind of, for the rest of the series. Gorgon is this guy who has hooves for feet, who like can like slam his feet on the ground and make this big shockwave, and he only uses that 3 times, and the majority of the time he's wearing boots for some reason. Even though he has hooves, he's somehow able to get his hooves inside of boots, and he wears that for the majority of the rest of the season because they didn't want to pay money for the CGI to keep him having having
It's like Percy
hooves all the
Jackson.
time.
Instead of having the guy with the satyr legs, they just gave him
Yep.
crutches.
Yep, exactly like that. And then there's Crystal, who is my personal least favorite character, and that's saying a lot. Who has the ability to control the elements, and she only uses it 4 times. This is an 8 episode miniseries. Okay, this is 8 hours of entertainment, and the main characters only use their powers like 3 to 4 times each. It's fucking terrible. Like you can see how little money they had and how rushed this fucking script and story was. And the biggest problem I have with the series, far and away, and this is something I talked about when I talked about the first episode, and something I thought maybe they would address later, is I have no reason to root for the main characters. They never present me with a reason why I think that they are the good guys. They're not the good guys. They never appear to be the good guys. They never do anything, really, that I think a good guy should do. They're all assholes. They're all shitty, horrible human beings. And the only person who I find any sympathy for is Maximus, who is the villain. Like he's the only person who I understand his motivation, and while I don't agree with him all the time, like he does bad things, but I can understand why he did those bad things. And that's not something I can say for pretty much anybody else. It's just terrible. Black Bolt is basically doesn't have a personality. He's just a dude who wanders around and has stuff happen around him. The Medusa has a sort of character arc where she learns to stand up for herself and like try to like not just be Black Bolt's interpreter, kind of. And she sort of learns not to rely on her powers all the time, since she literally can't use her powers for 90% of the series. But only sort of. Like it's kind of there, but not really. Karnak has a similar thing where he has to learn not to rely on his powers all the time and not to see things always negatively, sort of. But and he sort of learns to do things that he doesn't know. The way that Karnak has always operated is he only does something if he knows what the outcome is going to be, and he knows that the outcome is good. But then he kind of sort of learns to do things without knowing for sure if it's going to end well. He just does things because he thinks it's the right thing to do at the time, which means he makes mistakes, which I guess is a good thing? Question mark.
I guess.
I don't know.
In the sense that it makes him more interesting, I suppose.
There are moments where I can sort of see what they were trying to do with the different characters and the different arcs they were trying to give them, but none of it lands. None of it makes sense, and the big problem with the series is I just don't care about any of them. The only character I care about is Maximus and sometimes Medusa. Maybe a little bit. That's it. I don't give a shit about any other fucking character in this series, and that's a huge issue. Like, how do you have a series where I don't care about any of them? Like, it's a testament to the series that they could make 8 episodes, which is like a mini series. Like, it's a very short television series. Feel like the longest 8 episodes of anything I have ever watched. It's so boring. It's so long. The action scenes are so poorly choreographed. Like the choreography in general is laughable. The editing is terrible. The writing is terrible. Like there was a few glimmering moments where I could see what they were trying to do, but they didn't do it correctly at basically any point other than sort of the ending. And that's it. That's the only time where I was just like, hey, that kind of worked. Like, so I think I was going to give this, originally I gave it a 2. The middle, 4 episodes I thought were absolutely abysmal, but the last, episode and a half were surprisingly okay. So I think I'm going to go to, a 2, I'm going to say a 2.5. That's as high as I will go. And, yeah.
Damn.
It's awful. It's really bad. I don't recommend anyone watch it. Like, it's not worth your time. Trust me. I've seen the entire thing, and it's really just not worth it. Oh, the one thing that I can say positively about the show is it made me appreciate Iron Fist a lot more. Because Iron Fist looks like fucking, like, Citizen Kane in comparison to this show. Like, Iron Fist is so much better than this. And I officially hate Scott Buck. Scott Buck is the guy who made Iron Fist and also Inhumans, and he did a fucking terrible job on both of them, and I hope he never gets work ever again.
Oh my god.
This is the same guy who made the final seasons of Dexter, which are terrible. Like, everything this guy touches is terrible, and I don't understand why anyone will ever go to him to make anything. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to make jokes. I'm being truly honest. I don't understand how this person gets work. Like, he is so bad at his job. I'm disgusted.
Okay.
That felt good.
Goddamn.
Okay. So the other thing, and I have not told Steve about this. The other thing I want to talk about is I have been playing Super Mario Odyssey. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I bought a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
I did. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And
I was hoping that it would, like, quickly you were going to say, like, oh, it's actually really bad. Don't buy one because I really want one.
No. I absolutely love it. It's great.
Which color Joy-Cons did you get?
I got the blue and red.
Okay.
Which is, like, the only way I think
No,
you should do
well,
it.
yeah.
But
I'm sure the special edition ones will come out soon, though.
yeah, man, that's what I thought. But then I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. So I bought it. And it's pretty great. So if I try to focus on Mario for a second, I haven't played enough of it to really judge it, but it's basically like a Mario game. So if you've played Super Mario Galaxy, if you've played
Sunshine
Super Mario
or
60,
Super Mario 64.
Sunshine 64, Super Mario Galaxy 2, like if you've ever played a 3D Mario game before, you pretty much know what to expect. And it's pretty good. Like, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. The biggest new thing that they added is the hat.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest new thing about the hat is that the hat allows you to take control of different
terrifyingly
things.
body snatch sentient beings as they watch out of their own eyes eternally screaming.
That's probably the coolest thing. Like, I actually really like the body snatching thing. It's really fun. Like, you can take control of Goombas, and then you can have them stack on top of each other to reach platforms and stuff. And my favorite thing ever is you can take
T-Rex.
control of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yep. T-Rex. You can take control of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the best thing about it is that whenever you take control of something, they get a little mustache and a hat.
Yep.
And so you're just wandering around as a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a fucking mustache, and it's hilarious, and I love it. It's so great. So yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about Super Mario Odyssey, but I also don't have a whole lot to say about it yet, just because I haven't played a whole lot. Today I had my first real boss battle with Bowser. And that was awesome. Bowser throws his hat at you, which has like rock'em sock'em punching gloves, and then you hit the hat with your hat, and then like it like flips over, and then you can jump inside his hat, and then you get to punch Bowser with his own rock'em sock'em robot hat, and it's amazing. I love
Boy,
it.
that's a sentence.
like it's super fucking awesome. But yeah, I have really not much to say about it other than it's good. It's a Mario game. But I do have a few things to say about the Switch itself. So I really like the Switch. It's a lot of fun. I like the way that the things slide in and out. The only complaint I have about that is that I need to use both hands in order to take out one. Like the whole idea of like you being able to grab it from both sides and take them out at the same time. At least I have not been able to do that yet because there's too much resistance. Like I need to hold the gamepad down and then remove one and then the other. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like I can't do both at the same time, which I would like to do, but I haven't been able to do it yet. Like I might be doing it wrong. Who knows? But it's pretty great. The one complaint I have, and I'm sure I could buy like a charger for it, but I don't want to do that. So I had this problem when I first plugged it in because at that point it wasn't fully charged. So there's this thing where, okay, I was playing Super Mario Odyssey and I wanted to play it on my TV because I wanted to play it so that Ash could watch me play it because she wanted to watch. So I was playing it for a while, and then I realized that the controllers ran out of battery, like the Joy Cons that I'm playing with.
Right.
They ran out of battery, and the only thing I could do about that is connect them to the Switch. Like that's the only way you can charge them unless I bought another charger, which also has its own set of problems. So if I want to play on the television, I need to have the Joy Cons fully charged and ready to go. If the Joy Cons are low on power, I have to play the game like in like the what's the word in like the mobile version, not on the television. I have to be holding it right in front of me, which is super annoying because I can't. It's not like with the PlayStation 4 where like if my controller's running out of power, I can just plug it into a wall and then just keep playing it while it's charging. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But with this one, I can keep playing it while it's charging, but I can't keep playing it while it's charging on the TV. Like I can't keep playing it on the TV, and that's super annoying. I don't like that.
Ah. Well, you just got to do what the rest of us gamer folks do and just get multiple controllers and switch between them.
Yeah, I know, and that's I guess something I have to do, which is just kind of annoying. Like I could get a pro controller, but I haven't bought one yet. Yeah, but so far I only have the one game for it. I just have Super Mario Odyssey. I ordered Splatoon 2 off of Amazon, and it'll be arriving tomorrow actually, so I can talk more about that next week hopefully. So far I have two thumbs up, but I can't fully judge the system yet just because I only just got it a few days ago.
Fair enough.
Okay, and that's all I got. So we're going to move on to random encounters. And random encounters, if you don't know by now, is where Steve and I randomly pick, sort of, two characters in a randomly selected encounter, or like challenge, and we decide who would win. And it's just for shits and giggles, and we don't do research beforehand. It's not like Death Battle. Don't take this seriously. It's just two nerds talking about who would win in a casual fashion. So, the way I do it is I pick my characters based on what we've talked about during the day, and Steve picks one at random. So I'm gonna go with the Doctor. I think I'll go with 12. Capaldi's Doctor. That's the Doctor I'm gonna go with.
Okay. Coolio. Yeah. I got. Oh no. That's a challenge. That's not a person. Hang on.
Okay.
All right. I got Kenshin the Manslayer.
Who's that?
From Rurouni Kenshin.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that one was?
No.
All right. Well, he's the Batosai. Don't worry about it. He's a samurai.
Okay. All right. He's a samurai. All I need to know. Great. Okay.
But he doesn't kill people. And his sword has the blade on the wrong side.
That's weird. All right, so then, what's our challenge there?
Our challenge is, who defeated their enemy more?
Oh my God, Doctor Who! Are you kidding me? The Doctor defeats his enemy like all the time, over and over. He's like 2,000 years old, and he's defeated his enemies almost every single time.
Okay, yeah, I suppose the question, how I kind of pictured it, was the main enemy. You know, like.
But what's his main enemy? The entropy? Like, how do you have a main, like the Daleks?
Well, I would have said, I probably would have thought the Daleks or the leader or the master. I mean, yeah.
But still, he defeats them more often than not.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I guess it depends on your definition.
You could say the Daleks, the Cybermen, and all those monster races. I suppose you could just all call them his enemies. In which case, yeah, he beats them on a fairly regular basis, pretty much every time. Man. So. Kenshin does usually win, but, I mean, not that often.
Yeah, no, Doctor Who wins. I win! Ha ha! Yes,
all right.
Victory. Okay, so, I want to do Morbius the Living Vampire. Let's just do it. Morbius.
All right. I got Shadow the Hedgehog.
That actually kind of fits well.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right. The the challenge I got here is best character design as far as aesthetics go.
I I would say Morbius. I think Shadow the Hedgehog looks dumb.
Shadow the Hedgehog
He's
does
just
look dumb.
like he just looks like Sonic, but like edgier.
Yeah.
Whereas Morbius actually looks pretty fucking badass. I mean, looks a little silly at times, like with his weird like leotard thing, but still, like he just looks like a cool looking pale vampire.
Yeah,
which I think
Shadow
is way cooler.
not cool. I don't care
Yeah,
what people.
no.
Shadow's not a good look.
Yeah. Okay, I win. I won the whole thing. We'll go one more round, but I win. I feel like it's been a long time since I've won.
Yeah.
Like, it's been at least a few weeks.
At least since like Pee Wee Soccer, probably.
In honor of the Lord of the Rings prequel series, I'm going to pick Aragorn.
Okay. I got Knuckles the Hedgehog, or the Echidna.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's weird. Two Sonic sidekicks in one pull.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Oh, okay. I lost again. More likely to become president. Aragorn would make a way better president than Knuckles would.
Dude, Knuckles shouldn't be allowed to like I can't speak. Hold any form of public office ever. Like I'm sorry, but Knuckles is just a douchebag. Like he has no right to being a politician, whereas Aragorn is a king and a really good king. Well, while we're at it, like I love Aragorn. Aragorn would be a great president.
I mean,
Also Aragorn's super likable and he could totally run for president and actually win. Whereas Knuckles is an annoying douchebag who no one likes at all ever.
Wow. Why don't you like Knuckles?
I don't know. I've never liked Knuckles. He's just annoying. I just find him irritating.
I mean,
like
the only thing he's ever done was get the Chaos Emerald or the Master Emerald busted up. I mean,
if I'm being completely honest, one of the main reasons I don't like the Sonic the Hedgehog games is I don't really like any of the characters.
Well, I mean,
like
most
I just
people
find them
don't like his sidekicks.
I mean including Sonic. I'm not a huge fan of Sonic himself. Like they're all just either
Chili
boring
dogs.
or They're either boring or irritating. Like all of the Sonic the Hedgehog characters.
Oh my
like,
god! Oh my god! Have you seen any of the gameplay footage from the newest Sonic game?
I have
Where
not.
you can make your own unique Sonic character. OC, please don't steal.
Oh, seriously?
You didn't know that? Oh my god, it's amazing. Quick divergence while we're on it. They have a make your own avatar thing in that game, and you can make your own Sonic OC that you play as sometimes.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's,
but not just that. That shit is hilarious because the dialogue, I don't know if they were trying to be campy or they're just really bad, but good lord. It's about a war, like an actual literal physical, actually super people dying war between the denizens of the animal kingdom, i.e. our anthropomorphic friends, and goddamn Dr. Eggman and his newest evil invention, like clone thing or something.
Like a straight up war?
Yeah,
between
actual
war.
Those like two? They're forming a resistance.
Jesus.
And they're fighting battles and stuff, and it's amazing because you get to watch all of this like really campy, almost like bad FPS dialogue coming out of goddamn red hedgehogs and goddamn talking alligators and giant bees. It's amazing.
Get to the chopper!
Oh my god, it's amazing. And what the fuck?
All right.
And all right. So Sonic gets gets captured by Eggman. The first thing you do is your new guys go bust him out from his literal torture prison. Literal torture prison. They say
what
that
the hell
Thor
is this?
torture. Eggman's torturing Sonic the fast-running blue hedgehog man from 1986 or whatever. The little spinny ball man who runs fast, little hedgehog, little talking man.
Who said
that torture with like, bamboo shoots under fingernails on his little glove hands or something. It's amazing. I don't know if it was on purpose, if they're just pulling out all the stops and just embracing the ridiculousness, or they actually thought they were writing a complex goddamn odyssey of a story. But either way, best thing. Amazing.
All right, Steve. Are you all right?
Yeah. It's so
okay
funny.
then. So that will be it for this episode. So those are the complaints this week. If you can't complain, share it with your friends. Bye.